はい、こんにちは。
Hello.
かずしです。
I'm Ciara.
今日は
Today, so today we are going to share a new change to our life.
そうだね、新しく大きく変わったのと、前言ってたアパートをなんで引っ越したかっていう話でね。
One of the other reasons that we moved, but we didn't, maybe we hinted in the other video, but we didn't say. I think it's probably really obvious at this point. Let's do 3 hints.
3 hint?
3 hints. Okay, so first hint is about this apartment that the ground is padded, so when you make steps, it's not as much noise. Okay, do you have it? Hint 2. So this apartment allows a bigger variety of those who can live here.
そうだね。まあ、
Bigger variety. Okay, and hint 3. If that bigger variety makes a little scratch on the wall is actually divided into 2. So we can just replace the bottom part of the wall.
そうだね。なんかここが
Yeah,
2
there's
つ
like
に
I
分か
don't
れ
know,
て
but there's like a line
る。
to separate the top of the wall from the bottom of the wall.
うん。
So it's probably painfully obvious. Okay, so we're going to introduce the new addition to our family. Yay!
Yay!
Do you want to do it or shall I do it?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do it then. Buddy, come here. Come here. Good boy.
はい、新しいうちの家族のプリンです。プリンです。見えるかな
He says it's too bright to see.
ああ、確かに眩しいね。
So this is Pudding. He is a boy pug, and he is so genki. He's going to be bouncing off the walls while he's in this video.
何月 ?6 月生まれだからまあ
Yeah.
何ヶ月かな
No,
5ヶ月ぐ
he's
らい
a little over 5ヶ月, so 5 months old. We got him about a month ago. He was a lot smaller when we first got him. He's grown so much in this past month. It's crazy. He doesn't even look like a puppy anymore, but he's still a puppy. Yeah, so hence.
いや、そっか
Yeah, I guess show the shirt.
シエラが買ってくれて
Best pug dad ever.
まあいろんな昔からねうちらのビデオを見てくれてる人は分かると思うけど、シエラがパグが好きで、
Yeah.
ずっとパグが飼いたいって言ってたけども、やっぱりなんか今の前の住んでたアパートとかも買えなくって、日本の賃貸ってあんまりねペット OK のところが全然ない。
Yeah. And it's like we were looking at another apartment and the room literally sold out before the weekend came so that we could look at it.
いいなって思ってたところもすぐ取られちゃったりとか、やっぱりなんかみんなコロナが原因かなんかで。
Yeah. Maybe a lot of people decided they wanted a pet because of Corona. Yeah, since we can't meet people as often. Since you may not be able to meet people as often, many people have decided to get a pet. But getting a pet in Japan is actually not a small task or as easy as America.
あ、そう。
Yeah, because in America it's really easy to go to like an animal shelter and get a pet, and there's like inexpensive days or like days where you can actually get a pet for free. So sometimes they're puppies, sometimes they're not. But the shelter system, there are a couple shelters in Japan, but on the whole, they're just not so many. And I think the only ones that I know of, there's a couple in Tokyo and maybe a couple in Kansai, but the other ones you might have to actually like really dig to find them.
そうで、だから
Booty! Booty!
あ れだよね、その3月とか結婚式やろうと思ったけどできなくて、今年1年何もやってないねってなったから、まあせっかくなら、ね、パグ買いたいって言ってたからパグが買えるような家に住もうって言って住んで、でそれからシエラが仕事終わりとかペットショップいろんなところでパグを売ってるペットショップこういうふうに見回ってた時に、まあ、見つけたんだよね。で普通のなんかペットショップだとクリアケージとかで売られてるけども、この子はちょっと普通の子犬というよりは大きくなっちゃって道路に置かれているというか。
Yeah. I may have mentioned this in another video. I can't remember at the moment. My mom is actually a dog breeder for standard poodles and toy poodles.
そうだね。
So I have a lot of experience with, you know, little puppies. So this time I didn't really feel like having the really tiny, barely, you know, able to sell puppy was necessary for me, because I've had that experience so many times before in my life, just by, you know, the puppies being in the house before they were going to be sold. I wanted to find a pug that was, you know, by older I mean like he was like 4 months old. Like that's not even old. But I wanted to find a puppy that was a little bit older because, well, it's hard to talk about, but the pet industry in Japan is
そうだからすごい
hard.
若い状態で売られるから、やっぱまあちっちゃい子犬であればあるほど売れるし高く値段がつくけど、多分この子の場合は
He was a little older than the
そう
other.
でもちょっとね
He's still like he's still so young. Like 4 months old? Are you kidding me? He just wasn't teeny tiny. So
だからまあいろいろ見てきたけど、シエラがそのメッセージでなんかクリアケージから出ちゃってて、なんかすごい変な話、叩き売りじゃないけども安い値段で売られちゃったけど、もうこれ以上経っちゃうとどうにかなっちゃいそうというか、だからそれはかわいそうだな、それを想像したくないなって言って、ですごい性格もよくって、全然プリンは他の犬とか大きい犬見ても吠えなかったりとかね。
No, he only barks right before lunch, and even then it's kind of like this squeaky little bark.
そうだね、そんなに本当にバーって言わないで
Yeah, no.
ちょっとちっちゃい声でバウっていうのがすごいたまにあるぐらいで、本当に吠えなくって。
Yeah, he's really sweet, and he's really kind. Right now he's teething. He bites a little bit more now because his teeth are itchy. His mouth is itchy.
そう、歯が最近ね。
Yeah, so
抜けたりしてたね。
but that's a step no matter what dog you get, that's going to happen. So he's such a sweet little boy. I'm really happy, but just a small part of me is terrified to think of what if he didn't find a family. I did look at the pet shelters to see if I could find a pug, but I wasn't able to, not even an adult pug. So I figured if I was going to buy from a pet shop, I at least wanted to do one that's a little bit more, what's the word? Ethical, a little more ethical, and I wanted to buy a dog that was slightly older, that had maybe a tiny bit less of a chance of being sold. But like his personality is perfect. It's literally just his age. He's still pretty small, so
だし、なんか自分は犬を飼ったことないから分かんなかったけど、パグとかって普通の犬よりもなんかあんまり頭良くないみたいな言われるイメージあるけど、すごい頭良くてすぐお座りとかね、癖とかお手とか全然ちょっと教えただけでできたりとかするしね。だけどそう。
And he's very clever. He like figured out ways. Because right now he's toilet training, so he's got a huge cage, by the way. This cage is like bigger than some humans' playpens. But yeah, so when we can watch him, we take him out, and that's for pretty long periods of the day. But when we can't, he's going to stay in his cage for toilet training. But it's huge. It's like, you know, it's about the size, maybe even bigger than this couch. So he figured out he can use the toilet, but he figured out if he doesn't use the toilet, that Kazushi will take him out of the cage and put him on the ground. And he'll get to run around if he doesn't use his toilet. So
そうだから自分がリモートとか基本的に家にいるからこういうふうに世話をするんだけども、だからミーティングやってる時なんかすごいそのトイレパッドに 正しくやった時は「ああよしよしよしよし」って褒めるけども、まあそれだけで餌あげて「よしよしよしよし」で終わるけどもその自分が間違ったところにしたら自分が掃除しなきゃいけないし、プリンの足を拭いたりとかするからボディタッチが多分、間違えた時の方がよく触れてくれるなっていうのをプリンは知ってるから、最近はわざと間違えるよね。だから、ミーティング、自分がリモートであそこでミーティングしてる時にこうやって自分のこと探してアイコンタクトでピーってビーって早くしてって
So he's quite clever.
おしっこしてるよー掃除しなきゃダメだよって毎回こうやって見てこうやって探してるからするなこれはするなってミーティングしながら思ってああしたーってすごいそういう意味でも頭いいなって思う。
Yeah, he's very clever.
そういうのをちゃんとでも習わせなきゃいけないなと思ってるけどね。
Yeah, he's really good. When other dogs bark at him outside when we take him for walks, he doesn't bark back, he just looks at them. So, I don't know, he's just such a good boy, and we feel so lucky to have been able to meet him. We were actually kind of lucky that he was very close to us. Even though I really wanted to get a slightly older puppy, we were getting ready to like go to Saitama or Ibaraki to like meet breeders because we felt like that was the only way we were going to be able to get one. So he ended up being very close by, which was very good for us as far as, saving money and having less of a difficult trip for him back to the house.
やっぱりこのアパートがさ、ペット OK のアパートだからみんなペット飼ってて、こことか隣にねなんか紐かけられたリードかけられるとことか足洗えるスペースがあったりとか、あと今コロナだからあれだけどもなんかドッグブリーダーの交流会みたいな、ね、教室とか開いてくれてたりとか、なんか仲良くなりましょう会みたいなのがあったりとかしてたりとか、あとは周りもね公園がいっぱいあったりとかして。
Yeah, and the pet shop is really great too. They literally have a line to ask questions. So
そうだね。
Yeah, they've been so helpful. They're always there for us if we have a question about raising him or if something happens. Like the other day, Pudding was biting Kazushi's hoodie and something fell out of his mouth. I was just like, oh my god, what are you eating? So I looked and I'm like, oh my god, it's a tooth. And by this point, the dogs that my mom bred and sold would usually have found a home by now. But so I didn't have this much experience in this step of puppy's development. So I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, do we take him to the doctor right now? I was getting ready to put my coat on and rush him to the vet because I thought that he had, pulled one of his teeth out and he shouldn't have. But so we messaged the pet shop and we're like, oh no, he lost a tooth and he's bleeding. Is he okay? And they literally sent a message back in less than 5 minutes like, yeah, he's fine. It's part of the normal process for his age. And it's been more than a month since we bought him, so just to have that extra source there is very comforting. I was going to call my mom, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning in America, so I was like, oh, I shouldn't do that. But so I don't know, I feel like we got really lucky that he was the one for us.
それもなんか良いところなのかもね、日本のペットショップのね。
But I don't know,
みんなやってんのかな、わかんないけど。
I don't know.
だから買って終わりなのかなって自分も思ってたけど、買ってからもLINE でなんかその友達になってれば、いつでもかけてくださいって言ってね、スタッフが普通にボットじゃなくってちゃんと返してくれるんだもんね。これどうですかって、こう思いますよとかいうふうに何でも質問してくださいねとか言って、でもだってあんなに犬がいて新しい飼い主さんがいる中で、すごい返すのだけでも大変なのにすごいなーってそこは思って。
Yeah, I thought so too. And we took him back there to get him sized for his harness, and they went out in the store with us and helped Pudding try on different harnesses and things. I feel like we're going to be able to keep this relationship with this store, which is, some breeders are like that, but not all of them.